Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Let me see if this is working. If you're watching this from the start, then skip to whenever I start talking about these actual steps. Alright, let's see. Alright, there might be some echo. Hold on. Alright, yeah, it's working. Oh, my video capture's not on. Good morning. Alright, let's put... Where can I put myself? Why is the OBS... Let's see. I feel like OBS always, like, the camera... Not the OBS camera. The Elgato camera is so wide, and I can't figure out how to make it smaller. Preview scaling, canvas? Oh! Nope. I don't want that. Scaled window. Alright, let's just hope that I'm not blocking anything in this corner. And let's tweet for the people who aren't at US Open and the people who aren't asleep. Going live. To showcase. Drift. What's... Wait, hold on. I can't use that anymore. Twitter. Let's see. Well, I need some shortcuts to like put an overlay on or whatnot so I can navigate these things easier. Let's see. Where is the tweet? Where are you? All right. Wait, do they not have a Twitter? Drift? Oh, wait, right? Drift v2 Twitter. Or I guess it wouldn't be by version, but Drift Protocol. Here it is. All right. Drift Protocol. Smiley face. All right. Time to share. Wow, there's so many social medias now. I have to go to Telegram, and then Work, Farcaster, and then now FriendTech, like 5 different places. I guess I don't need to do Farcast. Let's see. Does FriendTech even work this morning? All right. Let's see if anyone joins in. How do I even... Okay. OBS shows your chat, but it does not show your viewers, so your analytics. So then I have to pull this up on my phone to see what's going on. Or no, should I use YouTube Studio? Does YouTube Studio show this? Sorry, we'll get into analytics soon, I promise. I don't think I've live streamed in like almost a year. Nope, it doesn't show on the phone. All right. Okay, we're just gonna get started. I can see the chat, so if you have questions, you can just post it in the chat. And then I need to remember, I think, hold on, how many minutes into the video is this? This is 5 minutes into the video. Okay. Cool. All right. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I unplugged my light. That's not gonna work. All right, we're just gonna get into it. So, hopefully you've checked out some Solana guys before. I've basically covered how to do like DEX trades before using Orca Whirlpool protocol. If you haven't checked those out, go to the Substack or go to my Substack and check out Starter Guide to Solana Data Analysis Part 1 and 2. 3 and 4 will come sometime this year. Hey, GM. Oh, this reminds me, I need to send this tweet to the Drift people so they know as well. Hold on. One more second. Let me tag, who was it that got me on this? Big Z and Davo? Cool. All right. Yeah, part 3 and 4 comes sometime this year, just covering NFTs and Solana. The article's like half written. I just have to go make some spells, but that'll come later. But yeah, I realized I never really did like a how-to from scratch. I think this was somewhat useful for people back in early Ethereum days, kind of showing people how to do this stuff from scratch. That was like a whole 30-day course, but as a budget version of that course, I'm just going to walk through it from scratch on a live stream. If anyone has questions, just throw them in chat or throw them in the comments if it's after the stream. We're probably going to go for an hour or two today, depending on how quickly I can do this. So Big Z from Drift Protocol, he had this dashboard from probably over a year or two ago. I think this is pre-Dune. Yeah, this is definitely pre-Dune SQL. Back before we had decoded tables as well, since if you look into this query here, you can see it's a deprecated data set, but you can also see that they're still querying Solana transactions. If you're doing Solana analysis now, you should almost never be querying Solana transactions. This isn't like Ethereum data where like it's actually worth querying Ethereum transactions. This table is really hard to query. So you should be querying a few different tables. The main one you should be querying instead is instruction calls, but I'm going to walk into that in a second, or walk through that in a second. This is like a very basic dashboard just showing their active users and whatnot. They don't even get into what the protocol does. I think I can see that he tried getting into insurance fund and whatnot and then gave up, which I think is completely reasonable given the the difficulty of that data set. But we can now take it a step further. I've already pulled up the program, which is just here. And contracts are called programs on Solana. So I can close this down. So you can see the program ID here. And I can see, let's see, the IDL here. So the IDL is the same as an ABI on Ethereum. Well, not exactly the same, but similar in terms of it's an interface that gives you all of the different functions and also structs from the program. So Dune, we need this to be able to decode anything. So if you want great data analytics on your Solana protocol, then open source your IDL somewhere. Otherwise, like, guarantee you people will not want to analyze your data and we will hate you for it. So it's hard to analyze a protocol or know what it does just by looking at the IDL and then looking at transactions, especially because of the speed of transactions on Solana. Like, you're gonna get like thousands every time you scroll like per minute. And so that's not gonna work. And if you just try to be like, okay, let me see like the main functions in IDL, IDLs are a lot longer than ABIs for many reasons. But if I look through here, like you can see the scroll bar on the right side. Like I'm going to be scrolling for like a day, you know, to just get to the bottom of these functions. And you can see there's no mark on which ones are internal or not internal. And like, I mean, there's no such thing as really a view function or a read function. So like I can't really just filter for those. This is typical basically across most Solana programs. So what do? I take this program ID and I go straight to the program quick start dashboard. And this covers the first step of what I want to do today, which is understand the protocol. I need to know the main function flows, meaning like what functions get called the most and what functions are related to other functions. I need to know the program composability, what programs call drift, what programs does drift call. And then I also need to figure out like the state in the storage, right? So I've already done this so that we don't have to wait for the queries to run because they take about 10 minutes or so to run on the last 60 days of data. But essentially all you have to do is paste in the drift address here or the ID here, and then you can just, I recommend switching to a large tier, and then you can just run and it'll rerun the queries related to this program. We're going to use this transaction table finder in a bit, but just looking over here, I can see that the top function called is place perp order. It's been called 8.5 million times in just the last 10 days. I know it says 60 days up here. This query here is just 10 days because 60 days is too much for this one. Oh, these two haven't run. Hold on. We'll get into these in a second then, but I can see settle PNL is also called and cancel orders is called a lot. There are looks like probably 165,000 liquidations over the last 10 days. You can see that there's also a liquidate spot. It's not just perps, right? So I know there's perpetual trading. I know there's some sort of spot trading. And the fact that there's a liquidation on spot trading tells me that there's probably also margin trading, which is just borrowing to trade more, basically. What else do I see? There's deposit and withdrawal, which makes sense just from like allowing for margin trading and perpetual trading. And I already know because I asked the devs that, or like you look at the docs, they also just have straight up borrowing. So straight up like Aave style borrow lending. There's an insurance fund. What else is there? I know there's a few other things in here. I'm not going to go over them now. But here we can see one of the first charts we're going to want is just new versus old wallets. We can see they, like, even 60 days ago, there are about 783 wallets that are old users, 249 new users. For some reason, on August 14th, the week of August 14th, there was a spike in new users. I don't really know what happened a month ago, but that might be interesting to look into. And then now the new users have been basically going back to what looks like normal. So roughly like, 600 to 1,000 something users a week, which is not bad. Top users, I can see that these two users are making the exact same number of calls, so 58.4 million calls. I'm guessing there's something similar between these two users. I don't have a user analytics dashboard yet, but that might be a good one for me to create next, so I can plug in a user address and see like what else they've been interacting with. And this one's interesting. So this is looking at composability, right? So main function flows. We're going to get into this, but we're like halfway done. Program composability. I can see that. So, okay. you have Drift. You could have a program that calls Drift, and Drift also calls other programs, right? If I use Drift to do like a spot trade or something, then that will then call probably some AMM or some DEX to like trade those tokens, and that's a separate program, right? And I can actually see down here that it calls the Serum program to do like some sort of DEX trade. I'm assuming. Obviously, it also calls the SPL token and system program program because basically every single program calls these two. But if I look at who is calling this Drift program, this one is an extreme outlier. For some reason, it's making almost 800,000 calls. So I'm going to save that in another tab for later, just because it might be something that skews the data. And then there's also 3J3 and J1T, which I'm guessing means JIT. And then there's two also Vault programs, I guess. Again, this is good for me to know, just to know like who's building on top of Drift. So this one's just called Drift Vaults. So I'm gonna like make a note like, okay, I should think about like there's some sort of vault, there's some sort of JIT. If you don't know what JIT is just-in-time liquidity. It's normally like, I think Uniswap did a great paper on this where they're looking at like, hey, who looks at trades and like sees a trade incoming in the mempool and adds liquidity just for that trade, basically, which is called why it's just in time. I don't know exactly the context here, but it's there. And this one is not verified. So I have no idea what it is and no idea why it's making 800,000 calls. So let me duplicate this into another tab. And I'm going to run this on large. I'm going to run this on this program just to see what's going on. I can see that it's running down here. Cool. Great. So that gives me some stuff to start thinking about. The transaction count's not loading now, but it basically just looks like this, like same as this user chart. I'll run it again just because we might need to reference it later. Right. All right. So this was this weird program. It's no IDL, which makes sense. It's got 4 wallets calling it every single week, basically no matter what, for the last 60 days. Mainly coming from these 2 accounts. No other programs call it. And this one's still running. But, all right, this very quickly indicates to me this is some sort of MEV or trading bot program. Given, like, the volume of calls it's making and also the fact that only, like, 3 or 4 or 5 wallets call it is, like, a very clear signal. That's good to know. We might want to look into some of the example transactions they're making in a bit. But something I can actually do, forgot to call this out, is all of these have example. Oh, here, this loaded. So I can see July 17th is actually when I had the most activity. And then it's been back to like 20 million invokes, or roughly 800,000 transactions a week. But again, I know that a lot of that is this one program probably running it. But anyways, I can look at this example transaction here, and it's going to show me basically where the program was interacted with. So this is F5M. So if I just do F5M, just to make it easier to see things. The signer's 882. Is this the same guy from over here? I actually don't see 882 in here. Huh. Anyways, cool. So I can see that they're using this to call drift v2 here. The instruction, they're doing a withdraw, which is probably a borrow. Then they're transferring it to then do another withdrawal and Sol. Oh, okay, and this is the complicated thing that's not decoded, where they're swapping it, I think, then across Orca and a bunch of other things. Yeah, okay, this loses me. I don't I don't know what's going on there. But it's clearly they're borrowing from Drift to then do some sort of trading. I don't know if it's a flash loan. I actually don't even know if Solana has flash loans. But anyways, they're doing some ARB there. We're gonna move on. That's not too interesting to us. We can see. Oh yeah, okay. This program is calling like every single DEX out there. So yeah, all right, that makes sense. That checks. Cool. All right. Let's get into the analysis. We're gonna keep these open. So as you can see here, I was already looking at the docs, so I slightly cheated by not just going straight from the quick start dashboard, but give me 1 second. All right. So good thing is Drift actually does have good docs. So I can quickly see there's perpetual futures, spot margin, borrowing, lending, staker, market makers. I'll just give you the overview of what I've read, as I know that their just-in-time auction is kind of one of the main things that they added that work really well. It's basically a Dutch auction for makers to fill an order before it goes to an AMM. So I think they had a post on it. Drift V2 blog. Hopefully it shows up here. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So if I just scroll here, this is the main thing you want to see. So some order will come in. Someone wants to buy like a perp or a spot trade or something, like 1,000 quantity of it. And they were marked to trade at $40 per SOL. Essentially, it'll go to makers first to see, like, hey, let's see, they're trying to sell. Right. So we know that the AMM liquidity is at 40.21. But it'll go basically at a discount to some makers who can fill it at a potentially better price. And this is just by seconds. T being the time, X being 5 seconds. Yeah. So there's 5 seconds for someone to come in and take the order. And these makers basically act, I think, as the just-in-time liquidity. And if it doesn't go through, you can actually see that. Remember earlier I said it calls Serum? You can see they call Serum, and it looks like Phoenix as the AMMs underneath that can be traded. I assume that's... I don't think they have their own AMM. Do they have their own AMM? All right, here's where we start to get confused. Oh, Drift AMM. Uses a backstop AMM. External liquidity providers. Yeah, that speaks to me as they just use Phoenix and Serum. Anything else to cover? No, I think that's a pretty good understanding of who they're building off of. We still don't really know what vaults are. What are vaults? Am I able to Google it here? Vault. Nope. Collateral vault. Ah, okay. The vault must be That's just like where they hold all of the tokens. All right, we're gonna cover that in a bit. I don't want to dive into that right now. So let's just get started with the dashboard, and we're gonna kind of crunch through it as we go. And by crunch through it, I mean we're gonna figure out the functions as we go. Let me switch back to my account. And I have not created a dashboard for this yet. So let's do a new dashboard. Let's call this Drift V2. All right, let's start simple. Let's just take this new and old wallets over time. I'm going to take this query. And you're going to see that this is just checking for some program ID against instruction calls, who are the signers, right? So there's this. I have this as a count. I can also do this. Let's see. The table comes out as what? New and old users. Let's see. I know that we're also going to want probably cumulative users, even though cumulative is not a great metric. How do I want to do this? If I just do, can I do this? Some, wait. Oh, yeah, all right, let's, all right, hold on. First, let me fork this. I don't want to overwrite my dashboard. We're going to hard code the drift program ID. And then let's just show 90 days. And this is going to be new old as a CTE. You don't have to worry too much about what's happening here. We're going to write some queries from scratch in a second. And from new old, we've got how do I want to do this? I think I need a middle CTE, cumulative as select week sum of unique addresses over order by week, ascending as total user or total. Here, actually, we'll do as unique addresses, and then I'm gonna say cumulative as user type. All right, from the old. And I'm going to do select all from new old. And we're going to do union all, select all from cumulative. We're doing this as a union because I think if I just do this window function over a new old, I think I'm going to get a bunch of duplicate values, so I don't want that. So we're going to save this as drift v2 new old wallets over time. And I'm going to run this now. And that ran really fast, huh? All right. All right, so we have new, old, we have cumulative. I want cumulative to be a line. So this will only give me cumulative users from, hold on one second, let me see. Ah, I see. I actually want to do cumulative using base. So here you can see I filter 90 days, but after the new old like row number is calculated. So I want to actually do this on base. Uh, How do I want to do this? This feels a little slow, but my brain is not awake enough to figure out a faster here. Can you do a count distincts? What do I call it? User. Can I sum count? I feel like I can't. This feels illegal. But let's try it out. Oh yeah. 1, 2. All right, we'll see if that runs. In the meantime, let's just start adding some text. Drift v2. What's the language they use? Drift v2 goals are. Oh, the cumulative does run amazing. But as you would expect, it's a pretty messy chart. If you do it this way, let me actually move. Oh, I'm dumb. I could have just done it down here. Run it one more time. Yeah, okay, that works. You're seeing the messy middle now, where I'm trying to do things as my query runs. Performs perp trading, spot trade. To enable deeper liquidity for market makers, smart market makers, greater collateral protocol collateralization. And let's find a fun logo, Drift v2 logo. This will work. Oops. Nope, I don't want that. Open image in new tab. Let's take this from their Webflow. I'm gonna add some markdown, so paste this image in. And more or less this is fine. Whoa, all right. We cannot have this cumulative on the same chart, but that's fine. Okay, so now that we have the easy one done, which is the user, so basically this original dashboard is migrated in one query. Now we can get into, yeah, all right, I'm not gonna put cumulative in here. Can I hide it? I can't hide it. I guess I'll do it as two separate charts. So let's just put this away. And I'm gonna fork it and use just the cumulative side. Wait, did it not fork? Do. All right. So we'll have those two charts, and now I want so we have this done. Cumulative users. Cool. Since this query runs pretty fast, we can probably actually do 180 days. Remove the overtime here. And we're going to start adding the visualizations. Hello, Jacqueline. All right. So, let's see. I know I'm going to put some counters up here. So we're going to have protocol summaries here. We're going to have the wallets here. And then what I want is going to be, let's see, what I want. Just volumes, probably. So volumes. So then down here is going to be per volume, borrow, withdraw volume, and then spot margin, spot trading volume. And then count at the top is going to be cumulative users, cumulative volumes. Cool. All right, that's all we need. So let's get into new query. Apologies, someone is messaging me. If anyone is going to permissionless and wants to hang out, let me know. I am checking if my flight is getting canceled, because apparently a lot of flights are getting canceled. What is this? Give me 1 second to make sure I'm still able to fly out. Oh, tomorrow it is still on time. Cool. All right, I'm glad I chose not to travel on Sunday. I think I got lucky for once. For anyone that knows me, I have terrible travel luck. All right, new query. All right, we're 38 minutes in. Oh, that's my dog. All right. Oh, that reminds me. I should add something later, which I think is also great to keep for the community. To-dos to make dashboard better. Categorize margin trades. Categorize borrows. User position summary table. I am not going to get into these, but if you are someone that wants to take up a challenge, those will make the dashboard better. Oh, that's ugly that this pops like that. All right, well, can I just make you smaller? All right, yeah, we're making you smaller. Ain't having none of that shit. All right. So let's start easy. Let's just look at borrows and withdraws, because I know that looking at perps is going to be harder. So let me go back here and pick up a deposit transaction. So there's a transfer deposit and there's a deposit. It's been called 10,000 times last day, 10 days. What happens here? I can see that there's some instruction data. It's not decoded on here, but deposit, there is an amount. Okay, this is the instruction data. There's an amount. There's the market index, which marks what token it is. then there is the actual transfer of the token. So I need to figure out the different market indexes first. So let's go drift. It's going to be our new best friend for the day. Deposit. And I want to get select all from deposit. And I need to know what token they're transferring is the first part. So there is market index. There's also spot market vault. I'm not too sure which one to use yet, but let's take this. Let's do a left join on Solana token transfers, SPL token. I want the transfer. So this is a token transfer. This is deposit. I need to join on where deposit.call transaction ID equals transfer.call transaction ID, and they have to have the same outer instruction, right? All right, so here we start getting into some things already, because you might have some people who go and deposit off of like through that MEVBot program, right? So the deposit will be called further down. It's not going to be the first call. So I can't just join on the outer instruction index, which would be 2 in this case, because if I join there, then there might be other things in there. So I can't do that. Good thing is I know there's a amount here. It might be easier for me to just check the token account being used. So this is USDC. If I paste this here, you will see that USDC just doesn't show up. However, I can see there is a user token account, which is likely the associated account. Yes, and that belongs to the SPL token address. So what I can do is look for user token account. So I'm going to need call transaction ID for sure. I'm going to need... Yeah, okay, we need a better table explorer. I need to go back to deposit. So I want user token account. I want to have market index. I want to have amount. Where's amount? I'm not going to do the join because it doesn't work here unless there's some fancy logic you can do to make it work that I covered in the starter guide, but where call transaction ID equals this, which is the transaction we were just looking at, and call block slot. It's called a slot on Solana. It's not called a number. And the best UX about SolScan is the fact that you can actually copy the block number, because on like Etherscan, you have to like try to highlight it without clicking it. I can put this here, and let's see. This will give us user token account is this. Is this right? Let me just double check it's what I want. User token account is indeed that. All right, so how do I figure out what token that is? Well, I can do a left join on, if I go to Solana utils, there's a few nice tables here, such as token accounts, which I'm going to call AA for associated account, basically. And I can join it on where address equals the user token account. That's going to give me the token mint address. All right, so I can do AA.token mint address. And just to make things easier to read, I'm going to put my alias here. for the poor soul that has to read this later. And we're going to run this. And you can see, the token mint address is EPJ, which you will quickly start to learn that EPJ is just USDC token address. All right. So for those who don't know, on Solana, if I hold USDC in my wallet, I actually hold it in a sub account. I don't hold it in my main wallet account. This is just kind of how Solana achieves parallelization. So anytime you see these anytime you see these transactions with a transfer in it and it says USDC, but then you don't see the USDC address in any of the input accounts, that's because it's in an associated account. That's also why you have this input account array, which is something, again, Ethereum doesn't have, because you have all these associated accounts. You need to pass them in as like an extra type of argument. So I know that USDC is likely market index 0. Let's say I want to figure out all live markets. I'm going to say, okay, I'm thinking through, since right now I'm checking off the deposit transaction, I'm thinking, is there a market you could have that exists without ever calling deposit? And that shouldn't be possible because you can't withdraw if there's no deposits. You can't do a perpetual trade if there's never been deposits. Maybe you can spot trade a market that never has deposits, but someone has to have margin traded, so I'm sure that deposit covers that. Just some quick checking in my brain, and what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to do this. I want the unique mint address, market index. I want the first deposit, just for fun. I guess we're going to put withdrawals in here in a second, too. Okay, so, all right, there is something here. I can't leave the deposit in here because there's interest over time. So if I just sum by deposit, it doesn't account for interest. So then the deposit value is not technically accurate. But I might just leave it as a caveat since I think it's still nice to have this data. But you just have to let the readers of the dashboard know that, hey, this is not exactly accurate. It's first deposit. I want count as number of deposits. I want to sum. And I need to divide this by decimals because this is going to give me the notional amount. You can see here there's 250 million or something, which is only 25 USDC. So I need the right decimal points to divide by, which means I need to go back to Solana utils. No, that's not right. I need fungible, I think is the table I called it. Tokens fungible. Yeah. I want to do left join token fungible as tk on tk dot token mint address equals what am I doing here? AA dot token. All right, so here I join token accounts to get the mint address. I'm joining Solana tokens fungible to get the decimals so that I can do a divide by power of 10 to decimals. Amount deposited. All right, I'm going to leave this in here just because I want to check that this works and runs quickly first. Department, oh yeah, group by 1, 2. And we're going to do this as drift v2 markets. So we have the market index, the first deposit, yeah, a number of deposits. Cool. So now if I take this out and I mark it as QA transaction, you'll see I leave this in a lot of my queries just so I can quickly like comment in and out later. Run this. Okay, yeah. Oh, I should run this on a large cluster. And I'm going to cheat and switch to the Dune account to use Dune's credits. I kind of want to run music in the background, but I think I get in legal trouble if I do that. All right. So you can see sometimes there's some weird data oddities here with like there was some transaction that apparently didn't put a mint address or didn't put a market index. Might be something on decoding we need to fix. So I'll flag to devs later. But what we're going to do for now is just say where token. Wait, hold on. Is this just I don't have this token mint address? No, that's not it. Is not null and market index is not null. And we're going to want to order by market index ascending. And since we also have tk.symbol, so now if I do this, token mint address is ambiguous, which makes sense. I want to do where aa.token mint address. Now I'm not doing where tk in mint address is not null because it's possible that there's some token mint address that I just haven't added the symbol to this table for yet, right? So I don't want to do that. I think it's raining. Yeah, it is storming out there. Oh, all right. Guess I'm not going out. Wait, isn't the U.S. Open final today? Is it canceled? Cool. All right, so it looks like good thing I didn't filter by TK because it looks like there's a token I'm missing. I wonder what token that is. Come on, SoulScan, load for me. Wrapped BTC. All right. So for now, wow, do I really not have wrapped BTC in there? All right. What's the decimals on this? 8. So the reason nothing's showing up here is because this decimal is going to be 0, right? Or it's going to be null, which is going to cause problems for the math. So I'm going to do a coalesce just so that if it's not, if the decimals don't show up in tokens, then just divide by 10 to the 8. And I'm also going to do case 1 token token mint address equals then WBTC else. This is kind of ugly right now, and I'll fix it later, but it is what it is. And let's just say I want to get prices too, so I'll do left join prices.usdp on p.blockchain equals Solana, and I think it's stored in binary and I need to convert it to base 58. So I need to do a from base 58. I know this is not super intuitive, but everything in Ethereum is stored in hex or binary. Everything in Solana, like this address, is base 58. So we have to do a conversion. It's easier to store it in the prices table. I know it's not ideal, but it's something you will get used to. And I need to join this onto a good mint address. I want to do latest. And what I'm going to do is take this sum and multiply it by p.price as USD amount deposited. Again, probably some of it's not going to show up, but at least it's there. Var binary to var char. Is it 2 base 58? Decimals is ambiguous. Oh, okay. All right. TK.decimals. Sum must be an aggregate expression. All right. We'll put you in here so that you're happy, SQL. Wow, I still have 3 of you. Amazing. Good job following along. Oh, that just dropped it too. Oh, well. Cool. All right. Yeah, as you'd expect, WBTC doesn't show up here because I don't have it in here. USD deposited. And we're going to do $0.0a. This is just going to be 0.0a. This is also going to be 0.0a. Date's fine. Market index is fine. Number of deposits. Amount deposited. Symbol. Address. Oops. Market index. First deposit. And let's move some things around. So I want first deposit to be last. I don't think it's super important. I think mint address. We can keep that up here. And let's see. I want chain utility functions. I want to link things to SolScan, so I'm going to use this function, Solana. I think, let's see. This is the URL, right? So I want this account. So I'm basically making a link right now in HTML. Group by 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's still correct. Oh, there's something else I wanted to add. I've forgotten. Think. Ah, yes. All right. Remember earlier we were looking at deposit. I can't do that. What are you doing, Andrew? Drift v2. I was looking at deposit and trying to figure out if the spot market vault was the same as the market index. Like, are they just tied together? Because if they are just the same over time, then it is nice to have both of them in here. Let's run. Let's see what happens. Get href. I have a dot somewhere that I shouldn't have a dot. Get chain explorer. Uh-oh. Nice. deposit dot. Oh, right. Spot market. No. It works. Amazing. And they all have unique vaults. Great. We can see where the tokens are. If I plug this in here, you will see that it should hold a bunch of USDC. Yeah. Amazing. We can see that it currently holds 3.889 whatever USDC. So technically, if I want an accurate balance, all right, amazing. My brain, we're waking up. We're gonna add one more thing here within Solana utils. We're going to get latest balances. So I'm going to do a left join of latest balances on val dot address equals deposit dot account. Yes, and this is going to give me so I know I just did all this. However, I actually don't need all of that. I can just do what do I want to do? I want to do my brain's blanking. Balance dot token balance. And is this already divided? Ooh, I don't remember. We'll find out quickly if it's divided or not. But then I don't need this as amount market balance. Market USD balance. All right, so I can do this. I'm going to keep this here because we're going to need it for another query. And now I can do group by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this will give me what I want. So what is the latest balances table? This is just me basically storing the latest token balance of every associated account, essentially. And it's not showing up here, so I've messed something up. Oh. This isn't in here. Why is this not in here? Hold on, we debug. Maybe I have to fix the spell. Solana utils.latest balances where address equals this. Now, why would this be missing? All right, I will fix that. In the meantime, we'll probably just move on. Oh, the Bitcoin. There's only 1.8 Bitcoin in there? And only 67 ETH. I guess that makes sense. Token balance is 0. That's not right. All right. Give me a second to figure out what's going on here. What if I do daily balances? I'm wondering if somehow no, but then latest balances just takes the latest of daily balances. So this is also going to show as no token balances. All right, this is probably a data debugging thing that's going to take longer. Token balance. USDC balance. Number deposits. All right, I'm going to take out query results, just make this a table. We're going to edit and add in this first table. Which gives us a healthy summary of all of our markets. So we can see, so it's not a query I planned on doing, but this is just how analytics works. Wow, okay. Interesting. So for some reason here in daily balances, I have some transactions where the balance is null. All right, okay. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I think in the meantime, instead of daily balance, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take select address token balance from, again, this is the equivalent of tech debt, but just as data debt. I need to, wow, is this really just null on different days? What's going on? Like maybe the token balance shows up as null in a transaction if the token balance didn't change. Like if I just deposit sold to a token, then the token balance is the same, I guess. I don't know. There's some RPC thing I don't understand there, but I know that there is a daily balance that was latest maybe 10 days ago or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a window function. Thank you, Platyperps. That's a great, that is a great name. I'm going to do, I want the latest non-null value. So I'm going to do, oh, do I want to do a window function on all this? Crap. All right, this gets messy. I don't know if this is going to run in time, but row number over, partition by token, no, by address as latest from USD's balances where token balance is not null. This is going to be as latest balances or as val. And when I join it, I'm still going to do the same join. But I'm also going to add an and, what am I adding? Come on, brain, come on, latest equals 1. All right, so I'm getting the most recent non-null balance. Due to some non-null errors in latest balances to fix later. Thanks, future Andrew. All right. So please run. Now this is probably no longer going to take only 16 seconds to run. But from here, while this runs, we're going to move right on because it's already 11 and I have the rest of my day to get to. And also I have the, for anyone who watches esports and Apex, we have a DAO that is in the finals for the first time called Blackhand. Definitely go and watch them. I'm going to go watch them soon. I might actually put that up on the side. I told Sersu I would support him. Okay, this ran. Token balance is here. Yes, yes. Why did some of the other values change? Partition. Oh, I didn't do an order. Fuck. Order by order by day. Update. Descending. I'm dumb. Come on, Andrew. Get your brain. Get your shit. Put it all together. All right. Wow, that exploded in unnecessary complexity. I want to get. All right, it's gonna be a mess to get. Well, let's see. Bitcoin is so small, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, okay, this looks fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take count of deposits by day, by. I don't need this anymore. Oh, let me check that this linking works. Does it take me to SolScan? It does. Great. So I'm going to copy this down to here too. And use this. And we're going to have this. All right, cool. I know this is probably hard to follow because I'm like jumping around queries so much. I'm trying to explain what I can. I still need to do these joins here. I still need to have this where not null check. And instead of USD latest, I'm going to do USD, and I'm going to join on P, let's see. Let's assume I do daily. So let's do a date trunk, which is just going to get the daily price of call block time of deposit equals p.minute. So this is going to give me the by minute price. And what I'm going to do is count of deposits by token, yes. And I'm also going to do day, because I want to get deposits over time across these markets. So, all right, this is also tech debt, but I'll come back to that later. I don't need the token mint address anymore because I have symbol. I don't need market index anymore. I don't need spot vault. I just want the symbol, number deposits, USD amount deposited. And this is with deposits as this CTE here. I need to add a group by. Hold on one second. I have this USD amount deposited. I don't want notional. Do I want notional? Maybe I include it just so people can check. Group by 1, 2. I don't need first deposit anymore. Now, what do I need? I also need withdrawals. So I'll just call this withdrawal as, and hopefully it's all the same thing except come on, keyboard. Speed running this now. Withdraw. I call this with, and every time I see dep, I'm just gonna change it. Does withdrawal still have market index? Yes. Reduce only. I'm not going to care about that for now. Amount. Cool. All right. It still has everything I need. USD withdrawn. Amount withdrawn. All right. Before I can join these, that reminds me. I actually want these to be negative. -1 times. Just so the chart's easier to read. there might be days where there weren't deposits or weren't withdrawals or weren't either. So I need to have a date generator as, I believe, oh, I want this to be my query. All right. If I go to discover, or no, come on, Dune, load for me. Queries, and I will look for days. I know that I have a days query sitting here. I can just take this, put it in here, and this is going to get me every day since 1999. I probably don't want that. I want select min, what do I call it, day from deposits as timestamp. So hopefully you can tell that once you get through the initial part of like figuring out what the program does and like some of the first joins and like data cleaning, you can iterate on it very, very quickly. So select from date generator as DT left joined deposits. I'm just going to call this deposits for cleanliness. Deposits D on DT. Wait, does this work? For a specific date. Do I need to cross this by market? I do need to cross this by market. All right. Hold on. Days as. What do I mean I need to cross this by market? So this is only going to give me one, like each day as a row. I need each day for each asset. So I need to get from days and also for each day, I basically need to join on left join, select distinct symbol from deposits on true. Days, time, as day, simple. So this is going to give me all days and symbols, and now I can join on dt.day equals d.day, and dt.symbol equals d.symbol. And I can do the same thing for withdrawals. W, getting that dub, dt.day, and I want dt.symbol. All right, we're crossing the finish line on this one. And this was number of deposits, which should be number of withdrawals. Now, caveat, again, that some of this there's borrows, right? So not all withdrawals are just withdrawals. Some of them are borrows. I am not going to go through the effort of figuring that out right now. I'll showcase what I mean, like the reason why for it in a second. But TLDR, it's complex, and you will have to pay me more if you want that data done. Amount deposited, amount withdrawn, USD amount deposited, USD amount withdrawn. And let's run this. And we're going to save it. Drift V2 deposits withdrawals over time. Line 21. Oh, yeah, you can't call something tumping. You can't call something with, because with is a reserved keyword, Andrew. You should know this. All right, so that's going to run, and I'm going to explain why I did not figure out borrows. All right, so borrows if you know Compound v3 from Ethereum, you know that they track deposits. Like if you're a depositor, your balance is positive. You're a borrower if your balance is negative. I assume it's the same thing. If I go into source and let's say I just go into lib. Something I want to search is essentially there's a deposit function that calls handle deposit. I go to the definition of it. Basically, there's this if statement, line 200 something, which checks the spot position. If they're in a borrow, you just minus the amount from their borrow. And I think same thing for withdrawal. If they're in a deposit, then you just minus it from their current deposit amount. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, if it's currently deposit, then you subtract the withdrawable amount, right? So, but if it goes over, then you switch it, essentially is what they do. So I would have to calculate the cumulative balances for each user to figure out if they're in deposit or borrow. However, the hard part about that is that there is a scaled balance component. And I know I'm speaking very quickly, but there's a spot position here. What is this? The user handle withdrawal if user not spot position. So I know this is a struct. I'm going to search across the whole thing for this state folder, which contains the structs that I need to understand. Why did I search this again? I forgot my flow. But essentially, there's a spot position that tracks the balance of the user for specific markets. And maybe if my brain comes back to me, I'll go back to why I talked about this. Oh, right. There is a spot position thing here. And if I look at the struct for spot position, there's a scaled balance. This is the balance after you take into consideration interest. Now, getting interest over time gets complex because you have to calculate utilization rate, which depends on what the current balances of the user are. So it gets kind of recursive, or not kind of, it gets recursive. You have to calculate a block slot by block slot. You can't really do that in pure SQL. So I will have to reach out to the Drift team, who hopefully has their utilization and interest rates tracked, and then I can pull that data, upload it into Dune, and then we can come back and calculate the borrow side of things. However, that's a long-winded way of saying I looked at the Rust, figured out as part, like, it's basically a, untrackable thing for us right now, unless you, like, emitted each user's balance, like, scaled balance every block slot, which, like, that's probably not a good idea. But we can come back here now. Deposit. Oh yeah, this should be W. How many credits do I have left? Oh, okay, still 1,000 something. All right, so that gets me deposits and withdrawals. We haven't even gotten into the perp trading side, so I'm going to make an executive decision here to look at, do I want to look at perp volume, or do I want to look at spot trading volume? So let me see. If I spot orders 303,000 something, perp orders 2.7 million, or likely 8.5 million. Well, actually, the only ones that filled is 356,000. The only ones that are filled on spot are 115,000. So, I'm going to pray that these are simple to do. And because they're so close, I was going to say, oh, if they have no spot volume, I'm just going to go only do the perp, but they still do have spot volume, so I can't do that. So we are going to create a new query. And let's basically do the same thing we just did looking at deposits, but now let's do the same thing looking at spot's probably easier. Let's look at spot. Example transaction again, right? So The flow is you pick up an example transaction. This one failed, which kind of puts me in a weird place. I'm gonna put fill spot order. I'm gonna pull up another transaction, which hopefully did not fail. Call transaction ID. Where are you? Count call. No. Devs, we need to make this easier to click, please. All right, here. Here's this one. But yeah, we're looking at example transaction, see what data we can find. So this one did pass. There is instruction 2, which looks like they filled it, and it went through Phoenix. It doesn't look like it went through their just-in-time liquidity. So this is something, you know, things that would be good to add. Categorize borrows, requires utilization and interest rate. Dive into JIT versus damn fill rates for orders. Did this run yet? Oh, okay, this ran. Cool. All right, we're gonna finish this chart, and then we're gonna go look at number of deposits, number of withdrawals. Number of withdrawals has to also be negative. They're almost exactly the same, which tells me there's probably a lot of arbing going on. Invokes. Nope, that's the x-axis. Invokes. We need another bar chart. Oh wait, I need to. Please don't be ugly. Group by. Stacking. Mostly Sol, MSol, which makes sense. So this is deposits. This one can just be withdraws. Number of withdrawals grouped by symbol. Yeah, for the most part, it's just USD and Sol, which again makes sense. Folks. Now let's do amount deposited. Or no. USD amount deposited. Group by symbol. We're going to do 0.0a. Should do the same thing for these guys. This is just changing so that this is easier to read when I scroll over it. Cool. So this gives me USD amounts. Let's do group by symbol and USD amount withdrawn. It's basically the same. So either I have a data error. Here, let's see. On 6/11, it's like 817 million USDC. 6/11. It's the exact same. Okay, there are some differences. However, It looks like most of this activity. Oh wait, oh, am I looking at deposits on both of these? No, this is deposit. This is withdrawal. Huh, interesting. It looks like on most days the activity through borrowing and lending is fully for like the mevbot, the guy who keeps borrowing, doing something on Orca, and then depositing back. So I guess you would count that as flash loan volume. I'm actually not too sure. But let's add withdraws USD deposits USD. Let me close this, open it again, just so I can see what I'm adding. Come on, Dune, load for me. Deposits. No, no, I didn't want that. Remove it. Deposits. Withdrawals. These should be side by side because it makes sense to put them side by side. We have new users, cumulative users. We'll add counters on some later date. And what else? Cumulative users, new old users. You could dive in, get unique depositors if you wanted. All right, how long have we been going? An hour and a half. I might save. Oh yeah, okay. So I can at a glance tell that this spot and perp trading is going to take a lot longer to do. So I am actually going to pause here. I'm going to remove this. So on some future date, we'll add spot trades, categorize margin trades, add perp trades, shut down section. Perp trades, which is probably the biggest thing. We'll do that some later day. Something we can do today is just like count of orders filled. So what I'll do for today, let's save that on that. We know that we have fill perp order, fill spot order, add liquidations, trades volume, user position summary table. We're going to link to drift trade from here. should work on headers. Yeah. I guess I'll link it here too. Follow more Web3 data analytics. And the follow link. Just doing some stylistic things now. Cool. Yeah. So we have these fills. We're going to take select block time date trunk day block time call block time as day. I'm gonna do a count distinct we're a signer as trader count as perp trades from this group R1, and then we're also going to do one for spot orders. What happened here? Trader. Oh, yeah. Spot trader, just so there's something for people to start with. Spot trades. Drift V2 spot trades. Drift V2 perp trades. And we're gonna do a bar chart for perp trades. Also perp trader will be a line. Wait. Oh yeah. All right. We can't really put that on the same chart, which makes sense. Trades. Do the same thing. And traders. Wallets. Perps. So let's just do the same thing here. We're gonna have this be, wait, this needs to be spot trades. Cool. We have deposits, withdrawals over time. And then, so for deposits and withdrawals, I want the same things. I'm going to remove these just so it's faster for me to recreate this stuff. So if I remove this, we're going to fork 3 times. We're going to make this longer dashboard and basically be done with it. Cool. So we'll add that into the summary table later. Right, so this is trades. This is traders. Why does this look so different? Huh. I guess there are some days where it's just insane amounts of volume. For traders, I don't need that. So we're going to fork this. I'm going to call this spot trades. And this is going to be fill spot order. And I'm going to delete this one, or archive. And then, oh, did it run already? Wait, traders, trades. Did I do the right thing? Trades, traders? Wait, why did why did that switch? All right. You do you, boo. We're going to go back to this query. And where's the withdraw call? I'm going to see it's here. So I already did the fork. This is going to be deposits. And then we're going to fork it again. And this is going to be withdraw. Withdraws. Right. Except for those ones, I'm only going to use the trader chart. I'm not going to use the other ones. Let's add things in. We're on the finish line for today. So I'm going to add traders. I'm going to add traders. And then for spot and perp, I'm going to add both traders and trades. Trades, result, traders. I want traders to always be on the left side. Did deposits not run? Cool, they ran. All right, so after all of that, we now have a very simple V2 dashboard where we can see there's a good amount of, I need to switch these two. We can see there's a good amount of withdrawal and deposit activity. There are less traders, 6 spot traders, is that right? Well, there's 6 people filling the orders, so there's probably more traders. That's data we have to dive into more. Perp traders, looks like there's 100 or something. But yeah, again, this was the fills of the trades, which I'm guessing is more meaningful than just the order placed of trades. However, that gives us, let's see, fairly good deposit withdrawals data. Obviously, the spot trade and perp data has a lot to be improved on. But I'll leave that for another day. Thank you for joining me on this rainy Sunday to look at Solana analysis. Hopefully that, as you kind of scroll through and see what I work through, it's more helpful to understand, you know, how to go about this and how you should segment things as you work through it. Because again, like as you can see, for a protocol like this, there's no way really you're gonna go through everything in one sitting. But it's helpful to kind of like start scoping things out, get summary stuff like this market stuff out first, because guarantee we're going to need this data again to reference when we do spot and perp trades. And that is it for today. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If anyone's at permissionless, please reach out to me. I'll be there to hang out and